If you can't put together a plan to save money, then you should not own a home. Because guess what happens with home ownership? Other costs come in. You're going to need your roof replaced. Oh, you didn't budget for that? How are you going to do it? I'm going to go get a loan. I'm going to put it on a credit card. That's not a responsible homeowner. And so responsibility is save your money, put down the down payment. If you're cash poor for some reason, wait a little bit. You have to at least be able to come up with 3% on a property. And I wouldn't trust it.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Shawn and Matt Show. My name is Matt, that is Shawn, and welcome to our show. Shawn, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about a new 1% down payment on your mortgage program by Rocket Mortgage. We're going to be talking about the National Association of Realtors members have declined for the first time in years. And then we're also going to be talking about in or out, whether Shawn battles in or out on 3 properties across the United States. Shawn, let's start with an article from Inman. Rocket's new 1% down mortgage also picks up tab for PMI. So Shawn, pretty straightforward. For the longest time, 20% down was the move, and then it became 15, 10. There are programs for 5, 3% conventional, 3.5% FHA, 0% VA loan. But if you didn't serve in the military, and if you don't want to go the FHA route and you want to stick to conventional, there is now an opportunity for you to only be able to put 1% down as your down payment. So for an example, a hypothetical buyer purchasing a $250,000 house would only have to put down $2,500 and then could save $20,500 in PMI over 7 years. Shawn, what are your thoughts on Rocket Mortgage coming out with this 1% down payment program?
Yeah, I have a lot of questions.
Let's hear them. Let's fire away.
Yeah, first question is why? So it's great for a homeowner to put so little down, all right? But why do you have to go to these extremes to try to get buyers in? That's my
the answer is that they lost the title of the nation's largest mortgage lender to rival United Wholesale Mortgage.
Yeah,
that's the answer.
So they're doing it because somebody else beat them to it and tried to do it. Their volume is down. I don't see a positive to this. Honestly, I see, okay, it's going to help a homeowner, but it's going to be no cost to the homeowner. Yes, there is. There's going to be a cost to the homeowner. There has to be. So what is the gimmick? Why is it that they're able to do this and not charge the PMI? Why didn't you just do this in the first place and not charge PMI? Like, why all of a sudden, oh, this guy's doing it, so I'm going to do this and I'm not going to charge a PMI just to get some business? Well, that means you're screwing us from the beginning, right? If you don't need my PMI on this one, why in the hell do you need it on anything less than 20%? So where are we getting screwed is my question on that, right? The other thing to think about is, especially in a market like this, we have huge interest rates. Why don't you instead offer a lower interest rate? If you're going to pay the 2% in some way, that you're making up the difference of that 3% down, is what the article basically said, is, 3% down conventional. Now they're going to somehow give you the 2%. All you have to do is come up with 1% and they're squashing the PMI. Well, why don't you just offer a lower rate to people? I think that would be the answer. If you're beating everybody else in the rate, then you're going to get all the business. So why not put that $5,000 that you're putting into somebody's down payment, instead give them the lower rate, reduce the rate by the $5,000, whatever that is. The only thing that I see happening with this is a lot of people coming in, buying homes, and then when their values drop, you're going to be underwater and you're going to see short sales and foreclosures. That's just my opinion. I don't think you do it in a volatile market like this. We are in a safer area. There are a lot of areas that are doing really well. But when you look nationally, there's a lot of places that are hurting. There's a lot of news and a lot of scared people out there that there could be areas of real estate. I see these topics all the time. There could be areas in the United States of real estate that could be wiped out, right? And so why then would you offer something at such a cheap, low down payment when we could see drops in values? And what happens then? What have we seen in the past? This is what happened in 2008 when you started giving people things when they weren't supposed to have them. This is what causes the problems. 2008, what were they doing? Oh, your credit score's 500? Cool, we'll give you a loan, no problem. What, you make what? I'll trust you in that. Okay, sounds good. I'll give it to you. Now, oh, you can only put 1% down? Sure, I'll give you the loan. I'll cover the other 3% or 2%. I just think it's an underlying problem for the future. That's my opinion.
On that same note, Rocket Mortgage CEO Bob Walters said in a statement, we talk with people from all walks of life every single day, many of who are ready to own a home and could easily make the monthly mortgage payments, but are having trouble saving for the down payment. Hello, if you could easily make the mortgage payments and you're ready to own a home, you should be able to save for the down payment. That's a counteracting statement right there by the CEO.
That should be a warning flag for them, saying, oh, you can't save any money. You can, but you're making enough money to pay the payment, but you can't save money. Why can't you save money? Because you're spending too much. That I would not loan to them. Like, that's just it. If you can't put together a plan to save money, then you should not own a home. Because guess what happens with home ownership? Other costs come in. You're going to need your roof replaced. Oh, you didn't budget for that? How are you going to do it? I'm going to go get a loan. I'm going to put it on a credit card. That's not a responsible homeowner. And so responsibility is save your money, put down the down payment. If you're cash poor for some reason, wait a little bit. You have to at least be able to come up with 3% on a property. And I wouldn't trust it. I mean, it's like, no thanks.
So this is called the 1+ mortgage program. To qualify for the 1+ mortgage, which allegedly is tied to affordable housing goals, buyers can't make more than 80% of the area median income, AMI, and need a FICO score of at least 620 or better. So, Shawn, essentially this is for low to medium income earners. This is for people literally earning less than $100,000, maybe less than $80,000. And it's not $80,000 per individual. It's $80,000 as an example for whoever is on the loan. So that may even be combined, two people on the loan making less than 80% of the area median income, which in many areas and many jurisdictions is under $100,000, under $80,000, which in my mind, the goal shouldn't be, as Bob Walters, Rocket's mortgage CEO, says, Rocket's commitment to creating programs that make home ownership more attainable. The goal shouldn't be making home ownership more attainable. The goal should be making more than $80,000. If you're in a position where you and your significant other are making a combined less than $100,000, the goal shouldn't be how can we go into debt $300,000. The goal should be how can we increase our incomes and increase our skills to make more than $100,000 combined.
100%. This is the problem with America right now. We have to create stronger people and create people that can actually hold a job and are going to excel. And if we just hand them everything, there's going to be no responsibility. There's going to be, I don't care about my home loan. Like, what's going to happen to me if I don't pay it? Oh, you're going to take it? Then I'll go rent somewhere else. There's a lot of that out there. And I just think that not everybody should be owning a home. Why are you trying to get everybody into home ownership? Not everybody is qualified. Not everybody is ready. And not everybody has the responsibility. Not everybody is the same, And so if you look at people, believe me, I've gone through places up and down in Arlington, all over this area. I go into places after a renter leaves and I'm like, this person was an absolute pig. They destroyed the property. They didn't care about anything. What makes you think that person needs to own a home? They're going to do the same thing to the home. And then they're going to say, you know what? I'm just going to leave. I don't care about my mortgage. Rocket Mortgage, go ahead, take it. And guess what? Then Rocket Mortgage now has a property on their hands. They'll probably have insurance for that. So they don't really care. But I mean, what is that doing to our values? That's devaluing properties. I just don't think it's good. This is exactly what happened in 2008. We don't need more home ownership for people that can't do it. We need more strong home ownership. We need lower rates. Let's get lower rates. How are we going to get lower rates? We need to stop inflation. Why don't we start working on that? I don't want to see 1% downers. I just don't. I'm not for it. I think it's stupid. Watch in a few years when Rocket Mortgage is like, uh-oh, we've got too many short sales. Why compete for that buyer? Why not be smart about
someone may say, well, they're trying to increase home ownership, and home ownership can lead to generational wealth. And there's this thing going around where it compares homeowners, net worth versus renters' net worth. And, Ramit Sethi says, well, caviar eaters are, worth more than McDonald's eaters. So if I go out and eat caviar, will that make my net worth go up?
Right.
And,
no.
it's if you buy a house, are you automatically going to be worth so much more than a renter? Not necessarily.
Yeah. And in a time when we just saw 20 to 40% increases in value, what makes you think that they're going to continue to increase? How we do over the long term see a lot of increases, but what if in the short term, a lot of people might buy a house and need to sell in 5 years? And what happens if they need to sell in 5 years? They only put 1% down and the prices drop 5%. Now they're 4% in the hole. Who's coming up with that money? That homeowner can't save. They're not going to save the 1%. They're not going to save the 3%. How are they going to come up with the extra 4% when the values drop only 5%? We've already seen drops of 10% in areas. This is not a responsible thing. You should not be doing this, especially now. It's too volatile. The interest rates are too high. And I think this is it's a weak argument. Do not do it. Put more down. Save your money. Learn to save. Learn life skills before you buy a house.
What you're seeing right now are two real estate agents advising you not to buy real estate if you meet these criteria. If you're only looking to put down 1% or 3%, I know I'm not speaking for you
right
now, maybe it's worth it to rent, save up, get your credit score out of the 600s. And, real estate's always going to be there.
Yeah. Do the things, talk to people like us, like good lenders that will actually help you to get your credit score up. Their minimum credit score is 600. That's super low. That's not good. You need a 720 and up to be, that's probably gone up, 740 and up to be a paper or something, So why are you striving to be a 600 and up? That's horrible. Get your credit score up. That in turn get your interest rate down. You then become a better buyer. There are ways to own a home responsibly, get a lower payment responsibly. Don't just jump into something because somebody's offering you something at $2,500. That is it's a I don't know.
It's a recipe for disaster.
It's a recipe
That's
for
what that
disaster.
is.
Yep.
Well, let's move on to our next topic. This also comes to us from NAR, from Inman, among other sources. NAR's membership is now shrinking for the first time in years. NAR, National Association of Realtors. The organization's membership was down 0.66% in April compared to a year earlier, so basically 0.5%. NAR thinks the numbers may fall even farther. So, Shawn, let's see, as of April 30th, the organization had 1.54 million members, basically 1.54 million real estate agents. Now, you can be a real estate agent without being in NAR. Is that correct?
You can be a real estate agent without being in the National Association of Realtors, because yes, that's true.
So essentially 1.4 million real estate agents, 1.4 million realtors, up slightly from the 1.3 NAR members 1 month prior in May of 2023, but down about 0.66 from 1.55 members at the end of April 2022. So, Shawn, Reventure Consulting, who is known for putting up, scare tactic real estate videos, and he's cultivated quite the following on, the YouTube Crash Bros, if you will. He's got quite the graph that shows realtor growth versus home price growth. And the lines of home sales and home prices increasing with the number of realtors increasing is pretty drastic. It's pretty correlated, if you will. It's essentially the same graph, and it essentially shows that when prices increase, realtors join the business, and when prices go down, realtors leave the business. So, Shawn, what are your thoughts, and what are you seeing in the market in terms of agents that are leaving the business, talk about, leaving the business? And keep in mind that we're not seeing as much of a growth as we did in the crash leading up to 2008. So a couple years before, we saw higher year-over-year percentage growth of realtors. But since the end of 2021 and into 2022, there has been a stark decline in the growth of realtors in America.
Yeah. Again, let's correlate this back to our last thing of 1% down. If realtors are getting out and prices are falling, do not offer a 1% down, right? I mean, that's the correlation. You're seeing things drop. We knew that realtors were going to start falling out because when prices are high and when it's easy, everybody jumps in and thinks that they can do this job. And it is easy sometimes when places sell in the first week, it's awesome. It's like, oh, all right, I didn't have to do much. I didn't have to go through the hell that we always go through. And the funny thing is, there's real estate agents that have been in this business for 8 years, 9 years, that have never seen a tough market. They have never seen a property sit on the market more than a week or two. And so now they're starting to see, oh my gosh, I don't want to go through this. I don't want it to sit. That stresses me out. What are they going to look at me? They're going to look at me like, why is this not selling? Well, this is a normal market. Sometimes properties don't sell for the first month. So you have to realize that this is the way real estate goes. It's not always easy. Everybody jumps into easy things, just like, hey, the stock market, I'm going to throw some money in. Crypto, I'm going to throw some money. I'm going to be a billionaire, right? Real estate, I'm going to throw myself in there and I'm going to start working. I'm going to sell properties because I know people and I can get up there and I can put pictures up on the internet and I can sell a property. No, you can't. I mean, anybody can, make money in crypto when the thing is rising like crazy, right? But guess what? We saw it fall and all these kids lost their money. And now we're seeing all these real estate agents do the same thing. Oh, it's not easy anymore. I don't really like to work. I don't want to do this. Let's get out. Real estate is tough. It's a lot of work. I work a lot. If people saw how much I work, they wouldn't want to do this, and for the last 8 weeks, I have worked pretty much every day. This weekend I'm taking off, but if you're not willing to put in the work, you're not going to make the money that we make. That's period.
So pre-Great Recession, there was a peak in 2006 with about 1.36 million members. And then that hit a low point at just under 1 million members in 2012. And then it peaked again in 2022 with 1.58 million members. And we all remember the meme that says there's more licensed realtors than there are houses for sale in America. And I think that'll probably be the high watermark of, the number of realtors because, with NAR, Shawn, I don't feel like I know what I'm getting out of paying the dues. I don't know what the dues are. $600, $700, $500. I don't know what they are. I don't know what I'm getting out of it. But they are a trade organization. I am a member, and they are vouching for my rights, and allegedly they have my best interests. And so I guess I'm on board with that because I am actively paying them hundreds of dollars per year. But Shawn, because of what we're seeing with the lack of realtors joining the association, the NAR chief economist Lawrence Yun is predicting a 15% decline in members. And so agents may say, hey, that's great news. I'll have less competition. And the general public will say, hey, that's great. We don't need all these realtors. Additionally, this is also going to lead to a $10 to $15 million budget deficit, says the NAR treasurer at the Realtors legislative meeting in Washington, D.C. So, Shawn, what I'm getting at is we see realtors leaving the business in huge numbers. We see a possible $15 million budget deficit. We see commissions getting cut drastically across the board. We see a commission lawsuit that is a class action suit against NAR, and that's making its way through the court system, which could have a huge impact that I don't think many people are talking about. Why would anyone want to do this job? Why would anyone want to be a real estate? Why would anyone want to join this business?
Why would anyone want to join this business? Because I love my job. I love what I do. I love talking to people about real estate.
You love working every single day, 8 weeks in a row, and not spending time with your family?
But not many people can say that they just made X amount of dollars in that time frame.
Is it worth it?
Yeah. It's pretty worth it. I mean, I know that I can work at, in the spring market really hard and make X amount of dollars. And then I can not work as hard on the rest of the year.
When do you take off?
Matt, stop asking me these tough questions. I'm starting to learn how to take off. Matt, I am a workhorse. I mean, that's just the way I'm from Pittsburgh. We grew up working. That's what we did. And I've worked since I was 12 years old, that's just what I do. But I'm learning now that I need to take time off. And that's why I'm putting things in place to not work so hard. But in the fall and in the winter, we don't work as much. And, I was complaining to you. I'm like, dude, I'm so dead. I'm so dead. So these are the times when you make your money and you stow it away and you say, all right, we know that we're going to go through slow times. We know that the fall is not going to produce as much income. We know that December and January is not going to produce much income. So you have to make your money now. And that's why I do it. I push hard. I make my money now. And then I can relax the rest of the year by saying, hey, I've made enough money where I can pay my bills. I can get through the tough times. I can get through the low down markets and I'll be okay. And that's what I suggest all of you guys do that are in this business. If you've only been in the business 1 or 2 years, you need to stockpile this money because not only are we seasonal, but we're also, going through weird times in the markets. We're seeing huge interest rates. We're seeing nobody selling. And so the money you're making, don't go buy a new car. Don't go thinking, oh, I just made all this money and I can do this. You have to save and you have to make sure that you can pay your bills going forward. What I will say about the prediction, I think it's going to be higher than that. I think it's going to be more than 15%. I'm going 20%. I think it's going to fall down to about 1.25 million members is my prediction. How many realtors actually do business? Not a lot. Most of it is 10% of the people are doing 90% of the business. I think there's going to be a lot of fallout on this. The other thing is you said they are in a budget deficit. What in the hell is NAR spending money on? If you have 1.5 million members, the highest membership that you've ever had, and you're taking in more money than you ever have, what are you spending that on? What are you spending it on?
I
makes no sense.
I can't answer that.
Again, if NAR can't budget themselves, what makes you think that a 1% buyer is going to be able to budget themselves? It's ridiculous. I hear it all the time, and it drives me crazy. Like cities can't budget themselves. Our government can't do a budget. Nobody can pass a budget anymore.
Did you go to NAR mid-year? It was in Washington, D.C. Okay. How many NAR events have you been to?
0.
Okay. Maybe if you went to these events, do you think there'd be someone there that could answer these questions for you?
Maybe, yeah.
Well, I'm not an expert on NAR's budget. I haven't looked at it ever, but I could imagine if they're predicting 15% of their entire trade organization leaving, then the $600 a head, $700 a head, I think they actually increased the fees recently, which I think is a good thing because you increase the fees and the people that were just kind of hanging on by a thread, weren't really invested, they drop out. And I also wanted to get, to that point, is less realtors mean that there's going to be better realtors, or if you have more realtors, does that mean there's a better chance for better realtors?
I think less realtors produces better realtors personally. I mean, the thing is more realtors jump in and they don't get educated. There's a big learning curve in this. And I was talking to somebody yesterday that got their license and they're like, I learned nothing from getting my license. You learn nothing from getting your license. That's true.
You learn how to not get sued.
You learn how to not get sued. You learn how many days you need after you get licensed to do whatever.
How many square feet are in an acre?
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. Nothing in the test prepares you to be a real estate agent. The only way you are prepared to be a real estate agent is by selling real estate, by getting a mentor, by learning from that person. And I know because I talk to people and I'm like, wow, you're a real estate agent? Like, how much do you know about this? I mean, I've been doing this a long time, so I have a lot of knowledge, but I'll tell you, the first couple of years getting into this business, it was tough. It was a lot of learning. I didn't know what I was doing at first. There were a lot of mistakes I made. You make mistakes by doing, and you learn hard lessons. And there's a lot of real estate agents that haven't learned those hard lessons, especially when they've been in a rising market where prices are going up and it's easy to sell. They've never had that problem of sitting on the market and having a tough conversation with the seller saying, listen, we're overpriced. Listen, prices are falling. You better get on top of this. You need to get in front of that curve or else you might lose more and more. Or else, you know what? Take the property off the market. It doesn't make sense to sell right now. That person's not going to say that because they need the money, right? Me, I'm going to say, listen, it might not be the right time to sell right now. Maybe it isn't the right time. Why don't you hold off for another 6 months or a year? I'm going to be honest with people. Where a lot of people aren't because they're in this for the money only and they don't understand what it really takes to be a real estate agent. So,
yeah, if your agent is worried about their paycheck, that is going to affect their decision-making process when it comes time for you to sell your own home. So that could be a problem.
Yep.
Shawn, let's move to in or out, whether you are in or out on 3 houses across the United States. Let's start in Asheville, North Carolina. Asheville's second most famous mansion, the Chiles Estate, is up for sale for $2.5 million. It's known as the second most famous home in Asheville because the first is, of course, George Vanderbilt's 250-room Biltmore Estate. So, Shawn, this is a castle in Asheville. It is 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, 3,000 square feet on a spectacular lot, and it's got this indoor-outdoor living that combines, some castle features to modern amenities. You got the Italian cypresses hanging in this back patio courtyard. I mean, if I saw this one picture, I would think I'm in Sicily just looking at this. And you got the tiled floor out there. You can retreat to the library after your dinner. You got the nice wooden fixtures, the wooden built-ins there, and you got a beautiful manicured backyard. So, Shawn, are you in or out on the Chiles Estate for $2.495? By the way, these individuals were the people that founded this town, that not Asheville, but a town right next to it. So it's a very historic property with notable people that have resided here.
Matt, this is super easy for me. I am 100% in on this. I typically don't like castles, but this place is not your typical castle. This is really, really well done. Like a Spanish, Italian style, like just very well done. I'm all over this thing. I think Asheville is one of these places that everybody's moving to. Everybody found out about Asheville and they're all flocking to Asheville because they've got great wineries, great breweries, great life. They have, nature. Our friend David Cartner is from Asheville. His parents still live there. They own like a
best Christmas trees in North Carolina.
Best Christmas trees in North Carolina. David Cartner. But people love Asheville. I have never been there. I need to get there. This place is awesome.
This is a castle you can live in.
You can live in it.
We've seen some castles and you're like, I got to redo the whole thing, or what am I going to do with 9,000 square feet?
Yeah.
This is a very functional, very livable, very doable castle that combines indoor-outdoor living. I know I said that earlier, but it's also in a climate that you can actually be outdoors in and not be too hot, too cold, and
it's so well done. And the thing is, there's this like patina to it, I want to say, right? The exterior is like, it's not painted perfectly. You can see like, but it's done right? Like that patina, that old look to it just makes it so much more enticing and beautiful. And I love it, honestly. This is one of the coolest places I've seen in a while.
Built in 1922. So they founded the Kenilworth, the town of Kenilworth, for what that's worth. So I'm definitely in on it too. Have you been to Asheville?
No, I haven't. You want to go?
Yes.
All right, let's go.
Let's go. Maybe they have an open house coming up. They do not. But we'll go anyways. All right, let's move on to the next property. Shawn, this comes to us from Syracuse, Indiana, not
I was gonna say,
Syracuse, New York.
I didn't know there was.
But if you can see this video, we have a lake house for $1.8 million that has a 1950s style diner in the property. So, Shawn, I'm going to lay it out for you. You have the guest house that has the diner. So it's like a 1-bedroom, 1-bath diner. And then you have the main house sitting out on Syracuse Lake in Indiana, overlooks the lake. That is 5,000 square feet and has, let's see what we got here. 7 beds, 6 baths, about 5,000 square feet. built in 1962. You know, you have your own private dock, sitting on half an acre right on the lake. I know how much you enjoy bodies of water. So, Shawn, it may need a little cosmetic, renovations here and there. Are you in or out for 1.8 in Syracuse, Indiana?
What lake is this?
Syracuse Lake.
Yeah, I've never heard of it. Do we know how big this lake is?
Big enough for bass fish.
Are there bass in there? There are bass in there?
I think there's going to be bass in there.
Matt, I love it. It might need some work, but what a plot of land. What a great view. A lake. I'm in. 1.7 million. Sold. I can't wait to get my boat, go bass fishing.
You can get a good idea of the lake there.
It's pretty decent. I mean, it's not a huge lake, though.
It's
maybe
not
a little bigger, but I like it. I like it. I'm looking for properties like this. I think everybody's looking for property on the water now, especially lakes. Like, just cool living. I love it.
How big of a lake do you need?
Something where you can get a little motorboat going. I did just see a motorboat on there.
They got some. This isn't Lake Barcroft where you can only do a little trolling.
No trolling motors. I want to go water skiing. I want to do some bass fishing. Get to those spots quickly. I think I'm pulling in some good bass on this one. I love it.
So you're in, Shawn. I am out. I am out on fake Syracuse. If I'm gonna be buying a lake house for $1.8 million, it's not going to be in Indiana.
Oh, yeah?
It's not going to be in Syracuse, Indiana. It's going to be in Syracuse, New York.
What if
it's going to be somewhere else?
What if Syracuse, Indiana is better than Syracuse, New York? Have you ever been to Syracuse?
First of all, how dare you?
I mean, that's like saying there is another Pittsburgh, but it's spelled without an H. Where is that?
Yeah, the frauds.
Yeah, the frauds.
Well, the owners of this house originally bought it as their vacation home and then liked it so much that they just moved in full time.
That's cool.
So apparently it's in a location that's close to Chicago and Indianapolis and all these random Midwestern towns that people forget about.
You can come visit, Matt, because I'm going to be living in Syracuse, Indiana. You're going to be going back to your hometown of Syracuse, New York, and you're going to be very upset because this place is going to be awesome. You can come. You can hang out. I'll let you. But it's look at that yard. I mean, it's cool because the house is on the water. It's really close to the water, but then you have this like larger plot of land that kind of pulls out into the street, which is it's a neat setup.
That's nice. I do like that. Not enough to sway my vote.
Sorry.
All right, let's move on to the last house. It comes to us from realtor.com. $995,000 Las Vegas home, Astounds with graffiti art-adorned interior. So Shawn, from the exterior, it doesn't look like much, but of course this 3-bed, 2-bath, almost 4,000 square foot home is located in Las Vegas because it's got Las Vegas written all over it. You have I don't even know what those things are called anymore. Crypto monkeys, Bored Ape Yacht Club drawings on the cabinets. You have the glossy floors. You have the eclectic artwork. They name the artist in the description. And it's just a unique place. Lots of graffiti going on. I'm pretty sure one of the comments said that a single male lived in this house before. Mm-hmm. And it is on the market for $995,000. Shawn, are you in or out on the graffiti home in Las Vegas?
Matt, why would I pay $995,000 when I can go right down to DC and see the same thing for free, right? We can go see a graffiti wall and enjoy its cool, aspects of it. I'm totally out on this.
It's like going to sleep in an airport hangar.
Yeah, I mean, there's some cool aspects to it, but that's weird, man. Like,
is that bathtub all open right there?
Yeah, there's some weird stuff about this. This person is a little off their rocker a little bit, and there's very few people that'll buy this because it's just so too unique. I think it's too unique. And there's a thing right next to the bathroom sink. It says, "My teeth are better than your teeth." Like, what mind comes up with this stuff?
Well, a couple things come to mind. Number one, I got to imagine that the price of the artwork is probably like worth more than the house because these pieces of artwork, I mean, they're super cool. It doesn't mean much to me, but I look at them and I'm like, okay, so someone is clearly very talented and they've spent a lot of time, money and energy to get this to where it is. Then number two, all the surrounding homes have got to be like half the price. Like if this house is $995 and it's a 3.2 in Vegas, I got to imagine you can get, you know, the same house for like $600,000.
Yeah. Yeah. So are you buying it?
No. I'm
no.
not.
Okay. So I didn't think so. I was hoping you weren't because, I mean, if you're a real estate agent.
Doesn't appeal to me. I'm not into, like, if I was into Art Basel and all that fun stuff.
No, that's a good one because that piece of art right there is, if you know that rocket ship, do you know it?
Yeah. It's the Blaster arcade game.
Yeah. It's from Galaga. Right? Galaga. If you've ever played Galaga, he has the little Galaga spaceship on his wall, which is pretty cool. That might sell me for that piece. No, but honestly, this is horrible. I'm out. I don't think, the first thing I'm going to do is go right over all the graffiti.
Oh man.
So, I mean, it's neat. It's different, but I'm not spending $1 million on it, you know?
Well, good luck to Jordan Metz with BHHS Nevada Properties. He's holding an open house today.
Hey, I'd like the listing. I mean, I think it's cool in that regard. You know, I'd like to try to sell it, but I don't want to buy it personally.
Well, I think it's located in the right town. If anyone's going to buy this house, it's going to be someone in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, that's the perfect place to try to sell this thing.
All right, well, there you have it. Another episode of the Shawn and Matt Show. Be sure to let us know what you think in the comment section below. Hit the thumbs up button if you haven't already. And until next time, we'll see you then.
Take care.